Hello everyone and welcome back to the 5 Minutes Learning channel. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating case study that every aspiring business leader, entrepreneur, and even casual shopper should know about. Uniqlo's journey to becoming a global fashion powerhouse. Imagine this, a brand that started in Japan, selling clothes that are both affordable and high quality. And in just a couple of decades, it's challenging giants like Inditex, Zara's parent company, and H&M. How did they do it? The secret isn't just in their marketing or designs, it's in their incredibly efficient and innovative supply chain. Think of the supply chain like the nervous system of a business. It's the network of all the individuals, organizations, resources, activities, and technology involved in the creation and sale of a product. A good supply chain can make a company. A great one can make a global leader. Uniqlo's story is a perfect example of a company that mastered its supply chain to achieve phenomenal growth. We'll break down their strategy into different phases, from their early days as a small Japanese retailer to their bold ambition of taking on the world. We'll explore how they built a system that allows them to sell high-quality, functional clothing at prices that are hard to believe. Let's start our journey in 1984, the year Uniqlo was founded. Like many new businesses, they didn't have the scale or resources to do everything themselves. They adopted a strategy known as the Specialty Store Retailer of Private Label Apparel, or SPA model. You might have seen this with brands like Gap, which popularized it in the 1980s. The SPA model is all about controlling the entire process, from design to retail, and selling your own brand's merchandise. This gives you direct access to sales data, allowing you to quickly respond to customer demand. In the beginning, Uniqlo didn't have the expertise to manage production directly, so they relied on major Japanese trading houses like Marubeni and Mitsubishi Shoji. These partners helped them source garments from Chinese manufacturers at a low cost. This was crucial because Uniqlo's core strategy was built on offering a great price-to-quality ratio, a price advantage that was hard to beat. To give you a real-world example, imagine walking into a Japanese Gap store and seeing a jean jacket for $58 to $66. Now walk into a Uniqlo store, and you'd find a comparable jacket for just $24. This massive price difference was made possible by outsourcing production to China. By 1994, Uniqlo's sales had grown to approximately $500 million, and they decided it was time to take more control. This was a pivotal moment. They set 3 core objectives. Accelerate growth, open over 50 new stores per year in Japan, restructure the supply chain, bypass the trading companies to lower costs, maintain high quality, ensure their products remained top-notch. 4 years later, in 1998, they took a massive step by establishing their first 2 overseas production offices in Shenzhen and Shanghai. Their first task? To streamline their supplier base. They went from over 120 suppliers down to just 40. This might seem counterintuitive, but by working with fewer suppliers and increasing order sizes, they could negotiate even lower unit prices. With growing sales, the average order size for a single item swelled to 8.75 million pieces. This brings us to a key difference between Uniqlo and its competitors. While brands like Inditex and H&M offered hundreds of styles, Uniqlo focused on a much smaller, more curated collection. In 2012, Uniqlo's store styles were only 10% to 30% of what its competitors offered. This allowed them to produce each item in massive quantities, driving down costs and ensuring consistent quality. In 1998, Uniqlo had a massive success with the opening of its flagship store in Tokyo. They launched a polar fleece jacket that was high quality but cost a fraction of what competitors charged. Sales almost doubled, jumping from their 1998 level to 2.7 billion units in 2000. To keep up with this incredible demand, they added 20 more suppliers in 2001, bringing the total to 60. But how did they maintain quality with so many suppliers? This is where Uniqlo's genius really shines. In 2000, they created the Takumi team. The word Takumi in Japanese means artisan or master, and this team lived up to the name. It was composed of veteran technicians from the Japanese garment industry, each with over 30 years of experience in specific areas like fabric cutting, dyeing, and sewing. The Takumi team wasn't just there for quality control. They were there to teach and mentor. They would visit Chinese supplier factories 2 or 3 times a week, far more often than the teams from H&M or Jap. They worked side by side with factory staff, teaching them the Kaizen philosophy, which means continuous improvement. A real-time example. A great example is their partnership with the Chefeng Group, a garment manufacturer in Guangdong province. Uniqlo's team helped Chefeng implement a 3-step process: a detailed analysis of production to identify issues, strict quality control at every stage, and comprehensive staff training. Uniqlo's quality standards were so high, they even required inspection of every single item produced, a procedure most other brands didn't bother with. The Takumi team was all about perfecting every single phase of production, from sourcing yarn to final quality checks. This focus on process optimization allowed them to achieve a just-in-time performance, similar to the highly competitive Japanese auto industry. In 2014, they even started one-table meetings, where fabric suppliers and garment manufacturers would meet with Takumi experts to coordinate their production schedules. This fostered a more collaborative and efficient supply chain. Uniqlo's success wasn't just built on a great supply chain, it was built on a great product philosophy. The success of the polar fleece jacket, which sold over 35 million units from 1998 to 2000, solidified their strategy of functionalism. Uniqlo's products weren't just about fleeting fashion trends, they were about providing practical performance, keeping customers warm, cool, or fresh. To take this a step further, in 2003, they partnered with Toray, one of Japan's leading advanced fiber manufacturers. This partnership was a game changer. It led to the creation of fabrics with superior performance that natural materials couldn't match. Heattech. The first product of this partnership was Heattech, a high-performance thermal underwear fabric introduced in 2002. Its success reversed a period of falling sales for Uniqlo. Over time, Heattech evolved based on customer feedback, becoming softer, antimicrobial, anti-wrinkle, and anti-static. This collaboration with Toray forced Uniqlo to refine its supply chain even further. Since Toray's production couldn't accommodate seasonal peaks, Uniqlo had to manage inventory and production year-round. They achieved a just-in-time supply chain with a design-to-store lead time of just 6 weeks. Data-driven decisions. They used early point-of-sale (POS) data to forecast production volumes. If a product wasn't selling well, its price would be lowered, sometimes as often as every 2 days. If the price drop worked, they'd adjust the price back up. To improve customer service, they gave their in-store sales staff handheld devices connected to a central database. Introduced in 2010, this device allowed employees to check real-time inventory, prices, and even find out if an item was available at a nearby store. By February 2015, Uniqlo's store count was still heavily skewed towards Asia. They had over 840 stores in Japan, while their presence in Europe was small, with just 10 stores in the UK, 8 in France, and 1 in Germany. The US had risen from 17 to 39 stores between 2014 and 2015, but they still had a long way to go. This posed a critical question. Could a supply chain so successful in Asia be scaled globally? As a business grows, it faces new challenges. For Uniqlo, rising wages in China were a big one. After a decade of nearly 20% annual wage increases in the PRC, it was becoming too expensive. Uniqlo had to look for new locations. In 2008, Fast Retailing, Uniqlo's parent company, opened offices in Bangladesh with a goal to move a third of its production out of China by 2020. But instead of just outsourcing, they set up a joint venture with partners to directly control and manage garment manufacturing and fabric manufacturing plants. They followed their suppliers to Vietnam and Cambodia and even established a production office in Ho Chi Minh City with a dedicated Takumi team. Online retail becomes a priority. In Japan, where the number of physical stores was saturated, Uniqlo shifted its focus to e-commerce. To meet the demands of online shoppers, they partnered with the Daiwa Group to build new distribution centers. The goal was to reduce transit time for online orders from 3 to 6 days down to just 1 day. This push into e-commerce was part of a radical vision from their CEO, Tadashi Yanai. He wanted to combine their physical stores with their virtual ones to create a seamless customer experience. In China, they partnered with JD.com, a logistics powerhouse with over 123 warehouses and 3,210 delivery stations, promising same-day delivery in major cities. The global challenge. Despite their success in Asia, Uniqlo faced a new set of challenges in the US and Europe. A key one was sizing. A medium-sized jacket in Japan was only a small in the US, creating a size gap in their offerings. They also faced high store opening costs, which impacted profitability. However, Tadashi Yanai was clear about their ambition, to make Uniqlo a leading brand in the US and Europe. He set a target to turn Uniqlo USA into a 100 billion yen operation within 3 years. To achieve this, Uniqlo recognized the need for a fundamental review of their entire supply chain. They established R&D centers in Tokyo, New York, and Shanghai, and planned to open more in Paris, London, and Los Angeles. They weren't just evolving, they were preparing to pioneer a new industry that was completely different from what we know today. Conclusion. Key takeaways from the Uniqlo case study. So, what can we learn from Uniqlo's incredible journey? A supply chain is a strategic asset. Uniqlo's supply chain wasn't just a cost center, it was their primary source of competitive advantage. They built a system that allowed them to offer high-quality, functional clothing at unbeatable prices. Quality is non-negotiable. The Takumi team is a perfect example of a company that prioritizes quality above all else. They went beyond simple quality control and invested in building the skills and systems of their suppliers. Embrace innovation. Uniqlo's partnership with Toray and the development of fabrics like Heattech shows that a company can differentiate itself through material innovation, not just design. Adapt and evolve. Uniqlo didn't stick to a single model. When faced with rising costs in China, they relocated production. When physical store growth slowed, they doubled down on e-commerce. They are constantly adapting to changing market conditions. Uniqlo's story is a testament to the power of a well-executed strategy and the critical role of a strong supply chain. It's a brand that understood that behind every great product is a perfectly synchronized network of people, processes, and technology. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Uniqlo's supply chain. I hope this case study gave you a new appreciation for the complex world of business and the incredible stories that unfold behind the scenes. See you in the next video.